It's me, Miss P, for Chapter 13 of Snoop. Thanks for joining me. Instantly, the chairman of the board are gone from my mind. Whatever ridiculous plan they might have for the hat sign is unimportant now because this is it. Needle Nose is making his move against the Paris art shop, and after weeks of casing the place, he's decided on the simplest possible plan. He's going to bash in the window with the baseball bat, climb in, and snatch the crown of England. And his escape? I flashed through a few camera feeds, but the red Maserati is nowhere to be seen. There's no time to think about that now. A major crime is about to take place in my town. I have to stop it if I can. I pull out my phone, dial the Sterling Police Department, and bark, "I want to report a crime that's happening right now! Somebody's about to break into the Paris art shop on Roswell Street." There's a pause, and then a familiar gruff voice growls, "This is you, isn't it, kid?" I'm taken aback for a moment. Then I realize that of course they recognize my voice. I've been calling practically twice a day to get somebody to believe me about the poor endangered animals. All at once, I realize my mistake. Up until tonight, I've been calling on our landline to avoid being identified. Now I've blown it. I used my cell. Even if I hang up this second, the police will have a record of the call. But I can't worry about that. Not with Needle Nose just a few yards away from the shop's plate glass window ready to swing for the fences. This isn't about the animals, I insist. It's a real robbery and it's about to happen any minute. Someone's going to steal the crown of England. Back up. Isn't the crown of England in, England? Comes the reply. The real one is, I admit, but there's a replica in the Paris art shop that's still pretty expensive, and this guy's going to steal it. Listen, kid, you sound pretty worked up about this, and I'm trying to believe you, but look at it from our point of view. You've been calling all week, gibbering about apes and red pandas, and you won't even give your name. What are we supposed to think? That I'm a concerned citizen, I practically scream. On my computer screen, Needle Nose and his bat are right at the store's front window. All he has to do is start swinging, and if I'm going to stop him, this is when it has to be. Okay, my name is Carter Peregrine, and I live at 347 Marblehead Lane. Now can you go arrest this guy? Suddenly, the cop is all business. We're on it. Click. I roll out of the onion room and into the den in a state of high excitement. Mom, you have to take me to Roswell Street. Now? She stares at me. Why? I just reported a robbery, I explain, at the Paris art shop. How could you possibly know about something like that? My mother demands. I saw it online, I confess. With a sinking heart, I realize this isn't going to be nearly enough explanation for how I know what I know. I'm going to have to admit all the stuff about cameras. The public ones and the ones I had to hack into. It's a really long story and I promise I'll tell you everything, but right now I have to go over to the Roswell Street. The police need me because I'm the only one who can identify the robber. It's a pretty half-baked account of what's really happening, but I give my mother a lot of credit. She sees how freaked out I am and decides to go with it. She and Martin push me out into the car. I heave myself into the back seat and Martin climbs in after me. Why is he coming with us? I complain. Because he's 8 years old and we're not leaving home alone in the house with the robbers on the loose in town. She snaps back. Maybe they're stealing that picture of you with your diaper falling off, Martin announces in a loud voice. He knows about the diaper shot. Our dad told him because he wanted to pass along the family joke. Haha. If you must know, it's the crown of England, I tell him. At least I think it is. They're criminals. Who knows what they might steal? It isn't fair, but somehow we manage to hit every red light between our house and downtown. When we finally make the turn onto Roswell Street, a welcome sign greets my eyes. 2 squad cars are parked in front of the Paris art shop, roof lights flashing. I note in relief that the store's front window is still in one piece. That means the police got here in time to prevent the break-in. Tells me I did the right thing in reporting the crime, and for giving that cop my name and address so he'd take action. I toy with the idea that I might be kind of a hero because of all of this. I wonder if Lacey will see me differently if I get a medal from the mayor. Mom pulls up to the curb a safe distance away from the crime scene. Now what, Carter? Go closer, I urge. I can't see. We're not going any closer. I have 2 children in the car. If the police want you, they'll come to us. I press my face against the window and squint into the gloom. 2 cops are there, and they've got needle nose between them. And he's still carrying the baseball bat. I roll down my window. Look out, he's got a bat! That gets a big laugh from the officers and Needle Nose himself. He's a criminal, I shout. Quick, arrest him! One of the cops saunters over and leans into the window of the car. You must be Carter. Mom speaks up. I'm Carter's mother. Exactly what's going on here? The officer is solemn. Well, it would seem your son just accused that gentleman over there of plotting a robbery. He was plotting a robbery, I jump in. Why do you think he's carrying the bat? Because he's on a softball team and he just came from a game, the cop explains. Oh yeah, I counter. So how come he cases the store every single day, staring into the window at the Crown of England? He's planning his operation, that's why. If I hadn't called you, he'd have smashed that window, grabbed the loot, and been gone by now. The officer addresses Mom, not me. It seems Mr. Grimaldi over there is a young artist. One of his first paintings is on display at the Paris art shop, right next to that jeweled crown. That's why he keeps stopping there, to see if it's sold yet. No robbery. Carter, you have 2 broken legs and you're confined to a wheelchair, Mom says to me. Except for doctor's appointments, you haven't left the house in weeks. How could you possibly know who's staring in the window of the Paris art shop? I try to burrow into the cushions of the back seat, but I can't quite seem to make myself disappear. How wrong can a guy be? I was so sure Needle Nose had his eyes on the crown. He was staring in that window every single day. Plus, I sent Ethan out to confirm my suspicions. How was I supposed to know Mr. Grimaldi was a starving artist, keeping tabs on his first painting? Sherlock Holmes himself probably wouldn't have gotten this one right. It was an honest mistake. Now I've got no choice but to confess about the cameras, although I make sure to keep my confession solely to the public cameras that anyone could look at online. As I try to explain myself, Mom's face turns progressively greener, and even the cop looks super serious. I can already tell I'm in big trouble because Martin is starting to giggle. He's the human barometer for when things are starting to go bad for me. I thought that just went for Colorado. I thought that just went for Colorado, but obviously it happens here too. I don't say anything about hacking into the private security cameras. The police definitely don't need to know about that. Otherwise, I'm honest about what I did, and I'm not exaggerating when I tell them how bad I feel about it now that I see how wrong I was. All this has to stop, Carter, the cop says gravely. We're busy people. We have a small city to look after. We can't waste all our time on false alarms. And that includes sightings of exotic animals that can't possibly be here. For an instant, I consider giving him an argument. The animals are real. But considering what just happened with Mr. Grimaldi, I doubt I'll be able to convince anybody to believe me. And when Mom shoots me a questioning look, I'm certain this isn't the time to complicate things by adding to the subject of my snooping. Mom isn't finished yet. She gets my wheelchair out of the trunk and sets it up so I can go over and apologize to Mr. Grimaldi. That's pretty awkward. To look into the needle nose you've been spying on for weeks and explain how sorry you are for sicking the cops on an innocent person? Ugh. He's polite about it, but I think that's just because the police are there. And my mother. I can't help but noticing how white his knuckles are as he grips the baseball bat. That's okay, kid, he tells me. I guess it must have looked pretty suspicious. The amount of time I spent checking this place out. It's understandable, my mom butts in. I'm an artist too. Photography. I have a piece for sale here, and I have to admit, I've looked in on it more than once. I'm aware of a tightening in my chest. She's talking about the diaper shot. And that's not something I want under discussion while standing right in front of the gallery where the awful thing is on display. It wouldn't take much for someone to say, "Hey, that baby with the saggy diaper looks kind of familiar." I glance over at Martin to make sure he isn't about to announce the identity of that baby to everyone in the zip code. But my kid brother isn't paying attention. He's staring at the store. pointing and laughing. I take a look at what's so funny, and it almost knocks me over. On the plate glass window, right above the Crown of England, somebody has glued a placard that reads, "Hat." Why did I know exactly that's where Lacey's sign was going to go? Get it, Martin crows? A crown is just like a hat, only fancier. Thanks, Martin. I never would have gotten that without you. My apologies to Maddox and the chairman of the board. It isn't that their jokes aren't unfunny. It's that you have to be 8 to appreciate them. The door of the second police cruiser swings wide, and out pour the chairman, faces stricken with guilt, Lacey and Maddox bringing up the rear. Martin is wide-eyed. How long are they going to have to be in jail? Our cop laughs. Nobody's going to jail, but vandalism is a serious offense. They're going to have to pay to clean that window. And if it can't be cleaned, they'll have to replace the glass. Maddox's beady eyes narrow when he spots me in my wheelchair. What are you doing here? I'm racking my brain for a reply when Martin supplies an answer. My brother's a hero. He's the one who called the police. No! I almost howl. I mean, yes, I called the police, but not because of that hat sign. I called them because of... My eyes fall on Mr. Grimaldi. Other reasons. I may never be able to scrub my eyes clean of the look of pure disgust that I got from Lacey. That is the end of chapter 13. Thanks for joining.